Welcome to Dairy Pod, a podcast series from Dairy Australia. Featuring a range of experts, each episode offers insights into Australia's unique dairy farming conditions, as well as personal experiences and the latest in dairy innovation. Hi everyone, welcome to Dairy Pod. My name is Kristina Gorgievska and I'm your host for today. I'm a dietitian and work at Dairy Australia as the Health Communications Advisor, and I'm delighted to be hosting today's episode. We all know dairy foods are highly nutritious, containing 10 essential nutrients for health and well-being. They're also associated with a reduced risk of chronic diseases, including heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and no link to obesity. My job is to help educate the public on the role of dairy in a healthy, balanced diet by contributing to a variety of activities, including running our healthcare professionals program, acting as a media spokesperson, and ensuring all our health communications across all audiences are credible and aligned to the latest science. I have the pleasure of being joined today by Paralympian Col Pearse. Col, you come from a dairy farming background and you're preparing to represent Australia in Paralympics at the end of August in Paris. So naturally, we had to grab you to help us spread the good word about dairy for World Milk Day this year. You'll be going for gold in swimming, so thanks so much for taking the time out of your very busy training schedule to join us today. So before we get started, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in dairy?
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for the intro. I really appreciate it. So for me, I grew up on a dairy farm called the Pearse Family Farm. It's in northern Victoria, about 20 minutes west of a country town called Echuca. So I'm technically a fourth generation dairy farmer, if you want to count it as that. So my mum and dad and my grandma and grandpa run the farm. It's mostly run by mum and dad at the moment, and we're milking about 550 dairy cows in Pemorm Extension.
That's amazing. Pearse Family Farm sounds very, very idyllic. And growing up on a dairy farm, and now you're Paralympian and you're also a Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. That's a bit of a shift. Can you tell me a little bit about that transition?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Like when I was a kid growing up on a dairy farm, I always wanted to be a farmer. I wanted to follow my mum and dad's footsteps. And of course, being on a farm, it's essential that we know how to swim. So we'd travel into Echuca, go into town, and my brother and I would, do swimming lessons. And slowly as we sort of progressed through learn to swims, I was advised to go into a swim squad because one of my learn to swim teachers said I have the potential of being a swimmer. Anyway, so shifting forward, I'm progressing through swimming, and I'm still like, I want to be a dairy farmer. I want to be a dairy farmer. And then at about the right age of 11, I remember I met my hero, Ellie Cole, who's a Paralympian. And pretty much the day I met her was the day I realized I didn't want to be a dairy farmer, that I wanted to be a Paralympic swimmer. So it's quite interesting because living on a farm, I can't just go for a swim every day. It would have to be we travel half an hour into town to go for a swim to be able to compete on weekends. So it's been an interesting transition because, like I said, my whole primary school career, I was like, I want to be a dairy farmer. Then at the age of 14, I was pretty much told by Swimming Australia that, Col's good enough to go to the Paralympics. In order to do that, he'll have to move to Melbourne. So I moved to Melbourne at the age of 14, where my whole career changed from wanting to be a dairy farmer to now being a Paralympic swimmer.
That's amazing. And I don't know a lot of 11-year-olds or 14-year-olds who say hand on heart that they know what they want to do when they grow up. I certainly didn't. But your passion for dairy farming as well as your passion for swimming certainly comes through. And how fantastic that you were supported to make that transition. So you moved to Melbourne when you were 14, did you say?
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. So that's a really nice tie into my next question, which is, how do you think growing up on a dairy farm has shaped who you are today as a professional athlete?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I think swimming is very similar to dairy farming. Dairy farming is always going to be harder than having a swimming career. But for example, you wake up early to milk the cows, you wake up early to swim in a pool, you work late nights milking the cows, you work late nights swimming in the pool. And throughout the day, when you're not milking, you're feeding the cows, switching them to night bay, the day bay, feeding the cars, shifting the fence. Same thing with swimming. You're feeling your body, your recovery, traveling to and from training, sports psychology, physio, etc. So there's a lot that I learned from my parents and from the workers and my family and friends who own dairy farms that intertwine with my swimming career. It also helps knowing that when you do make an Australian team, it's really important that you don't take yourself too seriously, in the sense that as professional athletes and as a Paralympian, we get one go every 4 years to peak, to perform at our highest. And the same thing goes with dairy farming, I guess. You have to perform day in, day out to be able to set yourself up for the next year or two. So for me, learning from my parents, it's just a really great opportunity to essentially not take myself too seriously, but sort of set myself up for my swimming career in the next year or two, working every day on the same thing, eating like a cow, at same thing, fueling my body with some fresh food. It intertwines because it gets me at that peak performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hearing, themes around consistency and hard work and just putting the work in and that delayed gratification as well, which has probably set you up to be an excellent elite athlete. Now, because I'm a dietitian, my main interest is in dairy and nutrition. And you touched on this before, but I wanted to know, growing up, you must have had some great positive messages around dairy. Since becoming an elite athlete, was there anything that, you might have heard out in the wild that surprised you about dairy foods? Do you work with a sports dietitian, for example? What kind of messages are you hearing about dairy?
So yeah, I am working with a sports dietitian at the VIS. Pretty much just eat all forms of dairy. So for me, growing up on a dairy farm, we had an endless supply of milk. And now that I'm in Melbourne, I'm restricted with that endless supply of milk. So I've had to resort to buying bottles of milk, unfortunately. But really, besides maybe some custard or some thick cream, pretty much have dairy, butter, milk, yogurt, etc. Because it's all good for you. It's got heaps of, it's got heaps of calcium, heaps of protein, and it just tastes bloody awesome.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, not us, obviously, but there are a lot of people out there in the general public who don't think of dairy foods as healthy. And when I talk about dairy foods being healthy, I'm talking about milk, cheese, and yogurt. And that's because they just taste so amazing. And people go, well, something that tastes that great can't be good for me. But it is. And especially in the field of sports nutrition, you touched on calcium for your bones. It's also got really high quality protein, which is excellent to help you build muscle and stop muscle breakdown, helping you recover from really grueling training sessions with your sore muscles. And as well, you touched on milk before, having a steady supply of milk. Milk is actually, really, really great as a recovery drink because it's got the fluid and it's got a natural balance of electrolytes. And milk in particular is a really excellent rehydration tool. Studies have shown that milk is actually better at rehydrating you than water and electrolyte sports drinks. So it's natural and it's really a perfect sports performance drink. And it's also got carbohydrates as well. All dairy foods do. So it helps you sort of recover and replenish your energy stores after exercise. Now that's my little spiel about dairy nutrition done. I just went off on a little tangent there. Was there anything else, moving down to Melbourne that surprised you about what you're hearing about dairy foods out in the wild?
Not really. I guess people are blown away with the fact that on dairy farms we get milk straight from the cows. Mm-hmm. I like to joke with all the city folks that we have different flavors of cows. We've got chocolate cows, strawberry cows, choc mint cows. So occasionally you do get the handful of people who believe that joke. But no, I think everyone's pretty good with, understanding the dairy nutrition. They understand what you've just said. It's a great electrolyte, even pre-workout drink as well. Yeah. So I would have loved to have been able to say something interesting, but I think for now, and as an athlete, I'm in a world where everyone understands their diets. Really.
Yeah, it's really well accepted. Sort of the more you get into that elite sports performance field. And for those who don't know, Sports dietitians are dietitians who do additional training and education so that they can help people like Cole, elite athletes, to be able to perform at their peak. And sports dietitians just love dairy. Like it's in, if you're someone who can consume dairy and you're an elite athlete and you're looked after by a sports dietitian, it's in every sports dietitian's toolkit. Now, changing tack here, obviously you feature in our World Milk Day video this year with the theme being powered by milk. So all those beautiful nutrition credentials that we talked about with milk, powering bodies at every age, as well as powering our communities. It was really important for our World Milk Campaign video that we feature people with an authentic connection to dairy, which obviously made you a perfect fit, given your dairy background and your athletic performance. And can you tell us why it's important for you to support dairy in this way?
Yeah, well, as I said, my parents are dairy farmers. We've got friends and family across the area who are also dairy farmers. So to be able to be part of this campaign on World Milk Day is super special because not only are we, there were some incredible athletes on that video and some incredible people promoting milk, but it's also an opportunity for everyone to sort of celebrate what we all love. I think every Aussie household has milk in their fridge. We all drink it. We all mix it with cooking and have it for sports and has it as a local gathering. And it's just really special to be a part of this campaign as well because, being an athlete with a disability, there's probably kids out there too who also live on a dairy farm who also have a disability who think that just because they're on a dairy farm, they'll never achieve anything, which is so incorrect because someone like myself who grew up on a dairy farm, and even not just having a disability, just anyone in general on a farm like it sort of shows that, I'm powered by milk and that, not only did I get myself to this level, but my hardworking parents who fed me some raw milk straight from the cow, it got me to this level. So really special campaign and really just a cool video as well. It looked really nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, here. And obviously, you talked about growing up on a dairy farm and all those beautiful transferable skills. So, yeah, it was so fantastic to have you. You can really feel your connection to dairy farming through the video as well. So thank you so much for agreeing to feature in the video and for being our talent this year. And now you're on the road to the Paralympics. Can you tell us a little bit about the event as well as your prep? How are you preparing for the event and what's the road to Paralympics? What does it look like?
Yeah, so currently it looks like 10 swims a week, 3 gym, physiotherapy, sports psychology every week. We're doing up about 30 to 35 hours of just physical exercise. That's not taking into account travel and nutrition and everything else that comes with being a professional athlete. So it's really, really hectic at the moment. It's especially if there's cold weather, it's making things difficult. But it's one of those things. I've got 2 months left till I go. Oh no, there's only a month left till I fly to France, but I've got 2 months till I race. So it's looking pretty good. We're doing about 5.5 to 6 kilometers per session. So do the math. That's about 55 to 60 kilometers a week. So it's quite hard, but I'm currently working with the VIS and my coach Joel Fink together and quite closely. So we're really knuckling down on that 200 individual medley. So it used to be the 100 fly was my main event, which I'd like to say it still is, but I'll tell you what, that 200 IM is really creeping on being my number one event. So prep's going really well. I guess my diet consists of milk, tuna, cheese, cereal, and fruit and veggies. So it's going well. Like it's only a month till we fly out. So I leave Australia on the 12th of August and race on the 2nd of September and the 7th of September.
Gosh, that's really creeping up. So you're exactly a month away from flying out, and then not long after is D-Day. Essentially, because we go over there to do a job. We're not there on a holiday, so it should be good fun once we get over there. Like I'm really excited to be able to see what the other countries have on offer, but even more importantly, to see how our Olympic athletes go. Yeah, and do you have any time? I guess obviously, the lead up to the event, you've got your tunnel vision, you've got your blinkers on, you're laser focused on that. Do you have any time in Paris post-event to be able to enjoy and sightsee or anything like that?
Definitely after the games finish, me and a friend are going on a bit of a trip around Europe, which will be fun. But beforehand, it's swim, gym, swim, sleep, swim, swim, swim for a whole month. So yeah, it'll be nice to get into the village, focus on my job, and then once the games officially conclude, I'll go on a really nice holiday for a few weeks and then return to the farm.
Amazing. Oh, that sounds wonderful. We're going to finish off with something fun today. I'll give you a few rapid fire questions. So number one, what's your favorite dairy food?
Yogurt.
Yogurt, any particular type?
I'm going to have to go with vanilla yogurt.
Yum. That was my favorite as well when I was pregnant. That was one of my pregnancy cravings, actually, vanilla yogurt. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Ice cream flavor, salted caramel.
Oh, nice. Very good choice. That's up there for me as well. Outdoor or indoor swimming pool?
Depends. I'm going to say outdoors, but for Melbourne, it's got to be indoors. But overall, for the swimming venue, I love an outdoor pool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm with you on the indoor swimming pool for the Melbourne weather, particularly lately. It's been absolutely freezing. Favorite swimming stroke?
Oh, butterfly for sure.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. And which footy team do you barrack for?
The Geelong Cats.
Me too. Yay, go Cats. I think that's all from me today. Thank you so much for your time today, Col. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That concludes today's episode. So if you haven't already, head over to dairy.com.au/World Milk Day to see Col featured in this year's World Milk Day campaign. If you'd like to find out more about the programs or campaigns that help educate the public on the role of dairy, head over to www.dairy.com.au/our programs. That's our-programs. Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's Dairy Pod episode. We hope you found it enjoyable and insightful. For more information, check out the episode notes. You can stay up to date by following Dairy Pod on your favourite podcast platform. To get in touch, visit dairyaustralia.com.au. Until next time, take care.